She-Ra and the Princess of Power has returned to Netflix for its third season, picking up right where the second season ended. And like with the past two, I got the chance to check out the season before it released to give a review on it. In this spoiler-free review, I give my thoughts on the 6 episodes of Season 3, which debut on August 2nd. And to get to the point so you can know the gist of my thoughts, I absolutely loved the season. I thought Season 2 was a major improvement over the first one due to it being able to focus more on the overarching plot rather than introducing a new princess each episode. But Season 3 takes that a step further and continues to ramp up the stakes and level of danger to a whole new level. In Season 3, we get the usual focus on Adora and Catra, and following in Season 2's footsteps, we get more emphasis on other characters such as Shadow Weaver, Hordak, and Entrapta. But Season 3 also gives additional focus on Queen Angela, who I was initially unsure about, but now I like a lot more. Due to all of this, there's a lot of jumping around, but since I was so engrossed with each of these storylines, I was never disappointed when there was a cut to a different scene. Each episode feels distinct, yet they are more tightly connected than in the previous seasons. And Season 3 picks up directly where the last one left off, with Shadow Weaver contacting Adora to get her help with stopping Hordak, Catra needing to prove herself to the Horde yet again, and Hordak continuing his work with Entrapta as his assistant. The show does have to balance a lot of different things, but as usual the characters have a way of having some common destination, so they tend to meet up by the end. The show even acknowledges this, which I found pretty funny.
So why do we need to know which way they're going?
Because Adora and her friends are always after the same thing we are.
The season continues to expand on the magical world of Etheria. The things we learn about why this land is the way it is surprised me, but I'm sure some fans with lots of Masters of the Universe knowledge may have guessed some of this. Not only does the season continue to introduce characters and locations from the 80s She-Ra series, but it also brings in things from the 2002 He-Man show. I mentioned it in my Season 1 review of She-Ra, but I never imagined it would be this relevant. Now I really want to watch it. But back to Etheria, a place of huge importance in this season is the Crimson Waste, the location of some First One's tech, and a message the best friends found in Season 2. There they encounter a warrior named Huntara, who guides Adora, Bo, and Glimmer through this dangerous wasteland. But they just met her, so can they trust her? Trust is a recurring theme in this season. Many characters, both new and old, take advantage of our young heroes, and it's hard to tell if even those with good intentions will always stay on their side. Additionally, several characters have to make choices that require them to sacrifice something else, and the consequences are often deadly, and all this is done spectacularly. While Adora has always been a favorite of mine for her determination and bravery, her personality felt a bit flat. But this season really expanded on her character by showing the length she will go to do the right thing. And as I did before, I love She-Ra. Any type of powers that come from a long line of predecessors has always intrigued me, and She-Ra is proving to be no exception. In fact, more information about the previous She-Ra is uncovered, which leads to some startling realizations. Unlike past seasons, despite She-Ra appearing in almost every episode, they really trimmed down on the transformation sequences. That's definitely good for people that didn't really like it, but personally I always enjoyed it, so I would have liked to see it a tiny bit more. Season 2 had a pretty big focus on Bo and his family, as well as Glimmer with hers. But this time around most of the attention is placed on Glimmer. She has so much potential because of who her parents are, and a huge point is made of this. I cannot wait to see how they expand on her story in the future, because I just love her parents. And I will admit, in Season 1 I felt like Adora suddenly becoming Bo and Glimmer's best friend felt off. Adora was so close to Catra for her entire life that it felt wrong with how quickly she was able to gain 2 new friends who are apparently extremely close. But when the big moments this season came, I really did feel like they were best friends, and I do hope it stays that way. As for Catra, she's still being her evil self, and is more evident than ever that she is extremely cunning as well as powerful. I always loved seeing her face off against Adora, but I just want them to be friends again. Is that too much to ask? Now I already mentioned that there are many references to previous Masters of the Universe series, such as the original She-Ra and the 2002 He-Man. But for some plot revelations, I just couldn't help but compare things to the events that happened in Voltron Legendary Defender, which happens to be another rebooted show from DreamWorks based off an 80s series made to sell toys. Now I am in no way saying the show copied from Voltron or that these similarities are a bad thing at all. If anything, these types of plot points come with the fantasy and science fiction genre and should be expected. But I just loved adding to the list of things that these two shows have in common, so I just thought I should point that out. And a lot of what happened genuinely surprised me, not only because there were some things I didn't see coming at all, but because others we actually made videos about and ended up making some very good predictions. All of this culminates in an epic season finale that makes me extremely excited to see what is to come. If there's one nitpick I have for the season, it would be that the other princesses just kind of show up out of nowhere and say they can help out. Sure, more help was always good, but it just kind of felt forced to me. I suppose they need to stick in the other princesses somewhere in the season, and this was the best way the writers thought of, but I cannot say they were really needed at all. Oh, and also Netflix pulled a Voltron and cut the original season 2 in half, meaning one of those 2 seasons would only get 6 episodes. Season 3 happens to be that one. Personally, I do appreciate shorter seasons if it means more frequent releases. It gives me time to make theories about things that normally would have been answered by the end of the season. But if this season feels short to you, that's why. Apparently, we are only halfway done with the show, which makes me glad we'll have a lot more time to spend with these characters. I've gotten pretty attached to some of them, especially Scorpia, who deserves everything in the world. I would say this season is a must-watch for those that love the first 2. For more casual fans, this is definitely a season you do not want to miss. And for those that didn't really like the first 2, this season may surprise you, so it's worth giving the show one more chance for this. But those were just my few thoughts on the show, and if you are watching this after the season came out, I'm curious to know about yours. Do you like where the show is headed? Did anything surprise you? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this review and want to check out my other ones, I made a playlist which will be linked at the end of the video. And make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified of any future reviews. Or if you'd like to go the extra mile, you can become a patron. There are postings early, such as the entire transcript for an interview I did with the Dragon Prince creators. I have a few other videos planned about other cartoons, so be on the lookout for those. Thank you for watching and have an animated day.